Hi guys, this is Hayden, your teen librarian at the Gilford Library. Figured you guys haven't seen me without a mask, so here I am. I've got some books that I want to introduce to you guys, some new releases in the library. You can come on down and grab them at any time. But I figured I'd just run some by you just to, garner some interest. So, the first book I have here is called Chance by Uri Shulevitz. In this nonfiction book, Uri Shulevitz, the author, details his 8-year journey on how he and his Jewish family escaped from the Nazis by fleeing Warsaw, Germany, to head to the Soviet Union in this book. During those years, with threats everywhere, our young Uri experienced his awakening as an artist, and that experience played a key role during this difficult time in helping him get through it. Shulevitz offers an account of determination, courage, family loyalty, and the luck of coincidence in a story that brings hope amidst harrowing times. This is illustrated by Uri himself, with just a lot of things. It's a little bit like kind of a play on a graphic novel, but there is also, text in there as well. But a good nonfiction book if that's something that you're interested in. So, next up, we have Premeditated Myrtle by Elizabeth Bunce. I don't know if the camera's glaring or anything, but 12-year-old Myrtle Hardcastle has a passion for justice and a highly unconventional obsession with criminal science. Armed with her father's books and her mom's microscope, Myrtle studies toxicology, keeps up with crime scene analysis, and watches her neighbors in her quiet village in England. When her next-door neighbor suddenly dies under mysterious circumstances, Myrtle seizes her chance. Myrtle takes it upon herself to prove Miss Wodehouse was murdered and to find the killer, even if no one else believes her, even her dad, the town prosecutor. With sparkling wit and a tight, twisty plot, Premeditated Myrtle introduces a brilliant young investigator ready to take on hard cases and maddening Victorian rules in order to earn her place among the most daring and acclaimed detectives of her time. Next up here, A Place at the Table by Saadia Faruqi. This story explores themes of food, friendship, and family, and what it means to belong, featuring sixth graders Sarah, a Pakistani American, and Elizabeth, a white Jewish girl taking a South Asian cooking class taught by Sarah's mom. Sixth graders Sarah and Elizabeth could not be more different. Sarah's at her new school, completely unlike the small Islamic school she used to attend. And Elizabeth has her own problems too. Her British mom has been struggling with depression. The two girls meet after an after-school South Asian cooking class, which Elizabeth takes because her mom has stopped cooking, and Sarah, who hates to cook, is forced to attend because her mother is the teacher. The girls form a shaky alliance that gradually deepens, and they make plans to create the most amazing, mouth-watering, cross-cultural dish together and win a spot on a local food show. They make good cooking partners, but can they learn to trust each other enough to become true friends? Again, that is A Place at the Table by Saadia Faruqi. Next up, we have a James Patterson and Kwame Alexander book, who you may recognize from Rebound or The Crossover, and that is Becoming Muhammad Ali. So, it's a story of boxing, a little bit fictional. It's kind of in between fiction and nonfiction. But before he was a household name, Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, was a kid with struggles like any other. Kwame Alexander and James Patterson joined forces to vividly depict his life up to age 17 in both prose and verse, including his childhood friends, struggles in school, and the racism he faced and his discovery of boxing. Readers will learn about Cassius's family and neighbors in Louisville, Kentucky, and how after a thief stole his bike, Cassius began training as an amateur boxer at age 12. Before long, he won his first Golden Gloves bout and began his transformation into the unrivaled Muhammad Ali. Becoming Muhammad Ali captures the budding charisma and youthful personality of one of the greatest sports heroes of all time. Another one here is Loretta Little Looks Back by Andrea Davis Pinkney. Loretta, Rolly, and Aggie B, members of the Little family, each present the vivid stories of their young lives spanning 3 generations. Their 3 separate stories, beginning at a cotton field in 1927 and ending at the presidential election of 1968, come together to create one unforgettable journey. Not many pictures in this one, but we do mix in, like Becoming Muhammad Ali, there is poetry mixed in, there's first person narratives, there's myths, gospel rhythms, um, and a lot of it is through the first person. Inspired by storytelling's oral tradition, small scenes are presented in a series of monologues that paint a gripping portrait of America's struggle for civil rights as seen through the eyes of children who lived it. The novel's unique format invites us to walk in their shoes. Each encounter brings an unexpected mystical gift passed down from one family member to the next that ignites their experience of what it means to reach for freedom. So again, that is Loretta Little Looks Back. You can come down and grab it at the library. And last, we have a graphic novel adaptation of a very famous book. It was 2017 was Jason Reynolds' Long Way Down, and now we have a graphic novel adaptation. Some very powerful imagery. I'm working through it right now, and it is quite the story. For anyone who doesn't know, The Long Way Down takes place in just 60 seconds, the time that it takes for a kid, Will, to decide whether or not he's going to murder the guy who killed his own brother. So, not to give anything away, Will's brother Sean was just murdered, and Will knows the rules. No crying, no snitching, revenge. That's where Will's headed now, with the gun shoved in the back of his waistband of his jeans, the gun that was his brother's. Now he gets on the elevator on the 7th floor, and he knows who he's after. Or does he? The whole long way down, the elevator stops on each floor, and at each stop, someone who was connected to his brother gets on and gives Will a piece to the bigger story than the one he thinks he knows. The story might not ever know an end if Will gets off that elevator. So again, this came out in 2017, but we now have the graphic novel adaptation if you want to get it. And that's all down here. You can stay tuned for more book talks and things like that in the near future, as we try to navigate this time together. And with that, have a great Thanksgiving and a great start to December. I'll see you all later. Thanks.